Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
And my name
And
is
with
Jeremy
me,
Howe from Man vs. Meeple.
Jeremy Howard. Oh my gosh, it's been too long since the last one
Yes,
of these we
brother.
did,
It's been too
and
long.
it's although I did get to see you in middle in like person, which was really
Yes,
nice.
yes, yes. Not too long ago, we were at Ivy. So yeah, we are at
Yeah,
Ivy Studios doing some cool
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Sadly, we didn't get to do anything there together, which does mean that this is catch up. So actually, we did stuff
Oh
together. What am
yeah,
I
we
talking about?
did
We did a
something
few
together.
videos.
Something that didn't work out well for you, but you might want to stay tuned for the Kickstarter for that one.
Well, that's neither here nor there. In any case, so this video, this list is not a top 10 list. It's really just a whole bunch of upcoming games that we're looking forward to. More
Alex, hey, hold on,
specifically,
Alex. Can we just be clear? This is like
yes.
freaking hype train. Like we're not
Oh,
okay.
oh yes,
This is
absolutely.
really just hype train. This is not like, hey guys, like ladies and
This is
gents, this
100% hype
is
train.
literally hype train. This is not anything other than
To,
like, oh, we know about a bunch of games. We're sharing a bunch of games. Okay?
to give you context,
Right.
I was trying to order my list. So I think we each have 8 games, although other things may enter the picture, we'll see. But I think we're each bringing 8 games to the table. And I was specifically ordering my list of least excited to most excited. And I couldn't, because nearly every single one of these, nearly every single one, I'm just like, no, I want that to be in the top 3, but I can only have 3 in the top 3.
Yeah.
So my excitement order of this list may well change multiple times as I play games more, and I think that's a relevant point here, because I'm not certain. Have you played all the games on your list?
No. No.
Because I played all the ones on my list. I specifically
Wow.
brought ones that I
Okay, so
played.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have a little bit more working knowledge. One of them I just got today. Another one's upstairs. I didn't know was here. So
Is the one you got today, does it look like
yeah,
this?
buddy. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey,
Because I got this one today,
I got
too.
this one today. I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Excellent.
So here, quick story about Colab. Back when I
Yes.
Portal Dragon, by the way, Portal Dragon is the one that made the like the Survivor game that you put in your hand and you kind of
Yeah.
like move the cards around. I can't remember the name of it. I was addicted to it for like half a summer. I cannot remember that name of that game. But you
Sure.
take the cards and you move them in your hand and keep the resources. Super fiddly, super
Okay.
fun though.
Palm Island.
Palm Island. Yep.
They did collab. They're doing the same company.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Cool.
they had this game every time. They'd always be at the back of the con hall, and
Mhm.
I would see them, and I would see this game laid out and be displayed, and they weren't even playing it. And they would give you like a 5-second demo of like what's going on, and I would make fun of them every year. I'm like, this game's never coming out. This game's absolutely
Okay.
never coming out. I'm like, this game's beautiful. Keep me in mind. This game's never coming out. And I would heckle them every year, and they were like, this year it's coming. And that was a long time ago. So same thing. They never announced it. This year they announced it, and here we are. The prototype is here, dude. This is exciting because I think this game's concept is really, really freaking cool. So, yeah, I'm just really excited to see, and in the flesh, it's a one. It's got some solo mode in there. I just kind of looked at the rules real quick, so it's got a solo mode. I'm trying to explain it. I believe this is how it goes.
Sure.
But basically, you are trying to build potions and different things like that. Trying to fulfill cards, I think it is. And then what
Okay.
you're doing is you're putting dice into workers and putting them on the spots kind of in between. And then you're putting your workers somewhere else. So it's like you put on, take off, get resources. But the thing is that the other players will be putting resources, dice with their little workers there too. So you're basically making it so that you can get resources from other people by being in this spot in the middle, something like that. It's like
Okay.
you're
Cool.
creating resources for other people, but at the same time taking your stuff off. So it's got this really interesting kind of dynamic to it. It's got cool miniatures. You're literally putting dice inside of these things here, these resource dice. It just looks beautiful laid out. It's like definitely a table presence type game. Looks a little on the lighter side.
Medium, yeah, medium weight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
light medium. So that's right up my alley. I mean that's what I like to play most of the game nights, so I can get enough games played. So yeah, this one I've just been waiting for a while, so I'm excited to see what it's like.
So when I saw this was on your list, because I got all your links before and everything, when I saw this on your list, I was really excited because in fact, there's like 2 or 3 on your list that I'm excited about because I wanted to include them, but I was only including things I played. So like I saw a few things, I'm like, great, we get to talk with them, and Colab is on that list. It only showed up today, so I didn't have a chance to play it, obviously, or not obviously, but not yet.
Yeah.
But it looks beautiful. It's dice drafting. That's honestly enough for me to be intrigued already.
I know that. I know. It is like, man, I'm telling you, when you read the description, you're like, this is cool. It's not I split, you choose. It's like I split, you get, or something like that. It's like they had come up with a little term for it. So, yeah, that was one to pay attention to, y'all. One to pay attention to, definitely.
Cool.
It's easy on the eyes, color-wise. You can see
it's
it.
Beautiful.
Pretty
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I just shared my screen with you, so you can actually see what I'm looking at as I go. But like this is what it's been on my screen for the past 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. My number 8, and again, top 10 list. But I just had 8 games. Honestly, the last time I did this, I think I had 10. But because I was picking what I played, I only had 8. And my number 8 is going to start with Kingdoms Rise and Fall Dorian.
Oh.
This is one where it's showing me how do I get out of this whole pop-up? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just there. But Kingdoms Rise and Fall Dorian is going to be a deck building game with not necessarily area control so much. Although there is area control, there's going to be gathering castles, but there's a lot of deck building in this game. This isn't the best page to show you the art. I wonder if there's a better page to go to, but it's going to be not a lot of heavy art here, but it does look beautiful. I've played this game on TTS. I have a prototype coming at some point, but it's one where you're going to be gathering different castles as you play through the game. You're going to be gathering different castles, and then you're going to be trying to gather castles, which are going to be key movement points. So other players are going to be trying to get to certain places, but if you have the right castle, they can't necessarily go through you unless they want to attack you.
Okay.
It's one of those games where you're trying to get points ultimately, and points is how the main way you get, but there's a degree of shifting alliances in the game, because sometimes you want to help others take over castles. You'll get rewards if you do so, but you probably don't want to help the person in first place.
Okay.
So it's one of those games where you're going to be working together until there's a clear leader, at which point you're going to be like, hold up, maybe I don't help you. In fact, kind of like Moonrakers to a degree, if you've ever played that one. Mm-hmm. It's going to have that same idea of work together. Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I've played it so far. I had a good jump into it, and it's one that there are still aspects. The thing that appeals to me the most is the deck building combos. Some of the cards look really fun. It's one of those games where you're not going to deck build a ton throughout the game.
Right.
You might get 5 to 10 cards in your deck, plus your starting cards, but your starting cards are already cool. Plus there's other ways to augment your tableau and improve. But it looks fun, has cool art that you're not really seeing on this page, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that looks really, really cool. And I mean, like, honestly, when I see deck building, I'm kind of weak to it. You know, like, I'm just weak to deck building.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
But
not.
it's like, what do you do with that is so important to me. It's like, all right, I'm in deck building. What you got, though? And just to have a little bit, like, to have somewhat of a help me out here alliance thing. That's what I want in the board game. I'm starting to get into this civ, civilization, battle, kind of, I don't know what happened, but something has changed in me where I'm starting to get into these more civ-like feels. So I'm feeling it.
Yeah, gaming tastes are fascinating. Like, there was a time when I avoided anything with miniatures, and now I don't have that problem. But yeah.
Yeah, like I'm playing Ruination, like, and I'm like, I want more minis on this table.
Yes. But I avoided it. I avoided games like Zombicide for who knows how long. I was like, those mini games, those are for those undeveloped gamers. Give me some to have.
I'm part of the problem now.
Yeah.
I'm like, give me all the minis on the table, please.
Yeah. What's your number 7?
Gosh, it has to be 7, huh?
I mean, if we're doing 8 games, then we're down to 7.
You know what? You really cut me down at 8 games.
Yeah, you can throw in what you want, but at least until we alternate.
I know.
At the end, we'll have like Jeremy Howard, like the 10 minutes show at the end.
I know. I'm going to go with Earth Under Siege Flashpoint.
Okay, great. So not in the order you gave me the links. Good to know.
I did not give you the order. I did not, Alex. You just got to learn. Okay, you got to learn to ride with me. Okay. So this is Sci-Fi Dungeon Crawl, as it says on the screen. Yep. But what's happening in this game is that you have alternative branching missions on the fly, which is what I like. So like you're penetrating,
so
a base.
Arcadia Quest style.
Yeah, So things shift as it goes along. There's a lot more personal story. As a matter of fact, they're trying to go a little bit deeper and more than normal on these on this dungeon crawler stuff. Sure. So you're going to get the action, of the card play and things like that. but this is taking it up a notch, I think, in writing
Okay.
and what they're trying to do mission wise on the fly. That's kind of like their selling point is missions changing on the fly because of your choices and things that you know get sprung on you. Which I'm feeling that, man. I just if you read the designer diary, they got some things going on there. They got a whole bunch that's in development. But every time I read something by what's going on, I'm getting more and more excited by it. And the minis look good, and the art looks like something in my range. It looks like something different.
Yeah.
Because it's not like zombie. It's just like sci-fi horror, which is something I'm kind of into. I don't know. We'll try it out.
Yeah, that's good. It's interesting you said it because this has been one I've seen pictures of, and something about it just hasn't pulled me in. There's always that spark of like why a game pulls you in versus doesn't. What calls your name? And this one wasn't calling my name, but that whole branching mission and that sounds a lot more intriguing. But I mean, plus the miniatures do look great. I'll agree with that offhand.
You know, the thing is with this game, the designer has been getting a lot of like feedback, like heavy on the feedback, and he's been in these Facebook groups, and they're just taking a pummeling, and they're coming back with good stuff, and it's getting better and better and better and better. And then when I saw the design diaries, I was like, oh man, they may have something better than what I think even other people are expecting here. Yeah, I think they got something better than people will expect.
I love when companies do that, when they get all that iteration and feedback out of the way before you have to figure it all out in 20 days.
It's the people who have, honestly, people who have the balls to put themselves out there and really take a pummeling from people and get critical feedback. Yeah. That's not necessarily always good or constructive. That sometimes they come out with the best products, so hopefully it works out well for them.
Cool. Yeah, I'm paying attention.
Beast.
Wait, the Beast. Yes. Okay. So fun part is you get to see my screen sometimes before I share something. So like I'm tabbing back and forth. So
okay. I got the prototype for the Beast upstairs. I'm excited.
I have the prototype of the Beast as well. This is one that have you played it yet?
No, I have not. I'm playing it tomorrow.
I'm hoping to play it again this weekend. I've already played this one before. I played it on TTS a few times. I haven't actually played it in person yet, though. So this is one that I'm hoping to get in a play in person. And that's also been one of the ways. Like I need to do a review. I need to cover it, but I want to get my plays in, and I also like playing games in person before I actually review them. But Beast, for those who don't know, because we're just talking about it, because we know it. But
everybody just knows.
Beast is a hidden movement game. And it's a hidden movement game that, and to begin with, I'll say this off the bat, I have played a bunch of hidden movement games. I have not played Fury of Dracula, which I have heard many, many good things about, so I can't compare it to that one. But Beast is, from the ones I've played, I want to say Beast has the potential to be my favorite so far. It is... Okay. The movement is very slick. It's very simple. I looked at the board. I remember the board I always thought I thought all the art was gorgeous, but the board just looks like a whole bunch of grids, and I wasn't really pulled in by it the first time. It's like, okay, a million little spaces to move. But when I actually played it, the beast that you're fighting against, or hunting more so, that each beast comes to the table with different ways that it plays out, and then each of the hunters has different ways of upgrading as well, so you have both these characters upgrading as you go. The movement and the pathways and the way you deduce as you oh wait, I crossed your trail, so I have a hint of how far you've moved. I also know you've moved 3 steps, so you could be one of these 2 spaces. It has pretty simple deduction along with the choices you make, and it's not just about finding it. You have to find it, then attack it, and you work together with your other hunters. It's really solid, really well done, amazing art, and variability from the hunters and the beasts that have it very intriguing for me.
Yeah, I'm honestly, the fact that you have different beasts, first of all, that makes me excited. And then you have it seems like you have these tactical advantages based on where you are. Like some people are near, this beast is better near the water, or something that they get or whatnot. Dude, that takes it to another level. Now, I'll tell you right now, mind management is absolutely.
I haven't played mind management either.
Oh,
that's a new one.
Amazing. I didn't know if I liked hidden movement games, but if that's what we're dealing with here, wow. That game is a wow.
They come in different shades, but if you like the genre, most of them are pretty good.
Yeah, so and it must be a thing. It's up your alley or it's not, right? But this one right here, just because there's different ways that can play out, and the dynamic, of course, of the people you play with, because I always say games, it's really about the people you play with most of the time, right?
Yeah.
Especially for a game like this. I'm just really excited to see what comes in our group here with the MVM crew when we get together and I start slithering around I always do.
And the
Yeah, I
nice
know.
part is the person who knows the game best should usually be the beast. So like if you know the game best, well, it's like I'd love to give you guys a turn. I have to be the beast. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Exactly. I played a game. Well, I played a game like this. It was a video game. What was it called? Where you're like the beast, and you're the beast, and everybody else is like four hunters. And I loved it because it was like you had to find ways to be crafty and be like not seen.
Mm-hmm.
And then when there was that time to pounce, you just wrecked everybody. The game was a complete failure, by the way.
Oh.
But it was a massive hit because people were waiting for it for so long. And I hope this game is something like that. If anybody knows that game, let me know in the comments.
Is it the one that you're in like a high school?
No, it's like literally like a big, gigantic, enclosed, jungle-ish / science place. And then you're like these cool hunters. But then, like, there's just one beast. There's one that's kind of King Kongish. There's one that's, like, it's skinny and it's good at being hidden. There's, trope-ish kind of beast. But, like, man, I can't remember that game. Oh, man, I used to play it so much, and it was such a failure. But but I think about that game when I think of the beast. Let me know if you know.
Cool. Comments down below. I'll be watching. What's your number 6, sir?
Oh, my number 6, sir. Let's talk about Kingdoms Forlorn.
Wait, the one I just talked about. No, wait, Kingdoms Forlorn. Wait a second. Do I have that on the list? Yeah. Where do I not have that on the list?
Kinghill.
Oh, you're looking at my screen. No one else can see my screen. Kingdoms Forlorn. Okay, I'm typing it out. I got it somewhere.
Yeah, right at the top.
Okay. Yeah, let's go to the Board Game Geek page. Cool. Okay.
Okay, so this is by the publisher that did AI's Trespass, which is still yet to deliver.
Oh.
But AI's Trespass is actually in an interesting stage of its development, by the way. So you might want to take a look at that Kickstarter page. I know you can still late back that one, so I'm still looking at it to back it. I kind of ducked out of it, but now I'm kind of excited about it based on where they are. But this one right here is different universe, different things going on, but it does still have that, I'm going to call it anger management system. Or aggro system. The more angry you get, the stronger you get.
Okay, awesome. Is this as big of a campaign?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. They basically just said it's a boss battler and it's a dungeon delver with the DNA. Here you go. You ready? Of Dark Souls and Diablo in the Dark Ages.
Everything you're saying to me has me. I have so many different like emotions pummeling me from my from my level of interest and disinterest in this game. Both of them. The art, first of all, is gorgeous. Just looking at this.
Yeah.
But the idea of the aggro, the aggression, the escalating tension, I love that in games. One of the things I loved about Aeon's Trespass Odyssey when I had a chance to play it. But for me, like the things that are hitting me is. You say anything to do with Dark Souls, and I get hate for this whenever I say this. I don't love Dark Souls stuff. I don't love punishing, but we'll see how that plays out. I don't like grind or anything along those lines. And also, campaign games, I curse me for my choices here. I keep backing them, but there's only so many I can actually play.
Do you like Diablo?
Diablo I love. So that's one of the positive. I said there's positive and negative hitting me from all these different sides. Diablo I love.
Yeah. So it's. You almost, that's the thing. It's like you almost have to see how it plays out, right?
Yeah.
Like they're gonna probably send me a prototype of this one.
It's gorgeous.
Because they contacted us, but like, the thing was I have access to AI's Trespass.
Yeah.
So we know essentially how that works.
Yeah.
Like how close you need to be awesome. And like if that's part of it and they put a twist on it, I'm fine. Like. If it's more heavily based on like getting a bunch of loot and beating bosses over and over again, I'm fine with that. I play Kingdom Death Monster. I love that. I like resource hunting, farming beasts. As long as the beasts are fun and dynamic and they level up and you can mix in cards with them like Monster Hunter. You mix in, different abilities in there. That's fine with me. I mean, that's really all the info we have. I even contacted the publisher and said, hey, can you give me some more info? They didn't really give me much other than that. And I looked on the BGG page, and I think that's all they have too. So
the art looks gorgeous. The
art just looks gorgeous, man. And I mean, like, this is just the initial stuff, man. Let's just see. I can't wait to see what they got in store for us. But
I'm very excited because Alien Odyssey, I passed on it, even after playing it, I passed on it for two reasons. One is that the game almost seemed to have too much content, and I do have a little bit of fear of the amount of content a game can present, and that might turn me off. And two is going to be the fact that I do not like the aesthetic of Alien Odyssey. A lot of people do. It's pulling that Kingdom Death vibes to a degree. I don't love that aesthetic. This, on the other hand, there are a lot of things right now. There's a little bit of wariness, a little alarm bells in my head, but I'm also very pulled in. It's like a cookie. Yeah. My body's telling me yes, and my mind's telling me no.
I don't think you're going to back this.
Listen, we'll find out. This is this beautiful art, escalating battle, the miniatures I have to see. There's enough reasons. I probably shouldn't back this. That's a different conversation entirely. Cool.
Yeah, I was going to say this. You're not backing this. You're going to talk your way out of it.
Oh, I hope so. I'm going to do my darndest.
Trust me.
Unless, of course, they send me a prototype and I really love it. In which case, I'll be talking to people. Okay, my number 5 is going to be nine number. I don't know what number up to. 6. I think my number 6 is going to be Kinghill. Have you heard of this one?
I have not.
So this is one that I haven't seen as widely talked about as any of the other ones on my list. But Kinghill is really well done. Now, to begin with, it has gorgeous art. We've already talked about, like, I like art. It pulls me in from the get-go. Now, Kinghill is going to be a 2-player worker placement. This actually is a bit of a mess to explain. It's a 2-player worker placement game. Okay, let's start with that. So 2-player worker placement.
Okay.
Then, it also has attacking each other's castles with a Hearthstone-style combat. Okay, so that's what we got over here. So we have the main board over here, which is going to be the worker placement area where you gather resources, you upgrade your workers, things like that. Then you're going to have the card play of Hearthstone, which you're using to attack each other's castles, which when you decrease your other castle down to 0 is how you win the game. There's a lot going on here, arguably too much. To quote what I told the developer, like I told the developer after the publisher, designer, after I played it, I said, there's a lot going on here, and you should remove something, but I don't know what you should remove because I like all of it. I was like, this is too much. This is too much, but I like all of it, so I don't have any good ideas. I don't want
strong suggestions, sir.
Yeah, it's like you should cut something from your game, but none of the stuff I like, which is all of it.
Don't you love how like you have all the suggestion in the world, but you like have no solution? It's like that's the reason why like people think like, hey man, that's actually the job of the designer and the developers. Like, I'm just trying to tell you, this seems awesome, but you may want to cut off a lot. Well, that's probably the reason why Dwellings of Eldervale is so good, because they did not cut it. They did not cut it.
That's a good comparison. It's a good comparison.
Yeah.
Because I think the way I put it to them is I said, now that I know it all, I don't want anything cut. But like the introduction might scare people off because it seems a little messy and seems like a lot. So maybe you just have like a little bit less mechanics for your intro mode, and then I don't know the answers. But what I liked about this is it's really tight. It lasts a finite number of rounds, but honestly, you can usually kill each other's castles before that happens, just in case the players are being too defensive. It doesn't want to go forever, so it does have a finite number of rounds. Your workers are constantly escalating. You're upgrading your workers. There are fixed spots. It's not a good picture of the board here. If you actually saw the picture in depth, it's a lot better. But there's a bunch of spots that are also coming out, so it has that Lords of Waterdeep aspect of fixed worker placement spots, but then different cards that will come out, the building, so to speak, that will give you variable worker placement spots. Also, the cards in the card row are also shifting, giving you temporary worker placement spots. Again, too many things. There's also going to be an aspect of gathering power in the game that's going to have these super powerful effects you can use that can either go into your tableau or be more strong, powerful at one-time effects. But it really does. And then at the end of it, of course, is the Hearthstone style of combat, where you have these characters with the attack and the defense and the abilities on them that give you abilities while they're in play, but that might incentivize me to attack your character, try to take them out. There's a lot going on in this game, but it's actually not that hard. It's just a lot, and it really works well together. It's that 2-player count might turn people away because people aren't looking for a 2-player experience, but this is like a 90-minute 2-player game. It's really well done.
Yeah, you know what? I'm starting to feel that's another one that I'm getting into, these longer 2-player type games lately. So I'm starting to get into that too. So I mean, because sometimes you just want to sit down with a buddy, your partner, and just say, hey, let's stay locked in here for a minute. And it's not a short game; it's the long game. We're playing for the long game together. So yeah, I'm feeling that, man. That sounds very interesting. I'm definitely going to be staying tuned.
It's really solid.
Did you say a launch date at all? Or
I don't. I think it's going October. I can't even click on this without logging in, but you can see a little more of the art here. But I think they're aiming for October. But it's also just a smaller publisher, newer. It's the kind of thing that might see a few delays while he gets everything worked out.
Yeah,
I think he's a one-man team, so we'll have to
yeah,
pay attention and find out.
yeah. I expect that now that you said that.
Your turn, sir.
I'm just gonna go off the grid here a little bit. This is not my one here,
Okay.
but I'm just gonna bring it up. Rome Total War is coming.
I saw it's coming to Kickstarter.
It's coming to Kickstarter. I think at the end of the year.
PSC Games, right?
And if you did not know, it's PSC Games. Yep, it's PSC Games, and they haven't really said too much yet. That if you want to look at the Wargamer article, that's the only information that's out there right now.
Okay.
That basically, so if you don't know Rome Total War, it's huge battles over land. You are basically simulating gigantic war situations in the game, and I don't know how they're going to pull it off, but PSC has been known to do these types of games, so I'm really looking forward to what they're doing with it. I didn't even look up the designer. Can you get a designer for me on that one? 'Cause I don't
let's see. Maybe if I go back
that's
to
even known. I don't even know yet. But yeah, man,
even on Board Game Geek, it's not even on Board Game Geek yet.
It's not even on Board Game Geek yet. So yeah, I think you want to pay attention to that one. But let me get back on task here. For Glory has an expansion coming out.
Oh, you're doubling it up. I like it.
Oh, I'm doubling it up, buddy. So For Glory has an expansion, and that's coming to Kickstarter. Now, you gave this game a glowing review. Yes. I'm going to tell you that this game is so worth whatever score he gave, and it is one of those 90-minute, 75 to 90-minute two-player games that's going to be a slugfest. Yep. But it's a strategic slugfest. This is it's serious. It's dead serious. This is not light choices.
Nope.
Because you are really you're trying to decide what you want to give up to your opponent if you're not prepared. And you're building these decks, and you're trying to take what do you want to call it, area influence, but then you're battling it out for that influence.
It's sort of. It's weird. The whole thing is weird, but it works.
Yeah, it's weird to explain that.
It's a deck builder gladiatorial combat game, and so you're trying to recruit gladiators into these arenas.
Right. You get your little support from the people and whatnot. But if you're looking at the website, you'll see it. They have these cards that are in the middle, and the cards that are in the middle they give you benefits in between rounds and during rounds. So if you're in control of them for that round, you get extra strength and things like that. Some cards combo by being together, things like that. But this new mode that they're adding a solo mode, and it is a fully fleshed out solo mode. So I'm very, very excited about this. Very easy to manage. I believe it's card based. I'm just so excited about that. They have new upgradable champion cards. So if you have a champion, they got a whole bunch of new small subtle things that already adds to a great game. And this is a really high quality game too, by the way.
Metal coins, metal components. Yeah.
And it's kind of for a premium price, which prices them out for a lot of people. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm willing to stake my rep on this one. This was a very good game, and it you would have to be into gladiator combat. I couldn't tell you if you weren't.
I don't think I'm not into gladiatorial combat. I don't care about it. It's nice, but it works.
Game is just freaking awesome.
This is a game that when they first reached out to me,
was like, dude, I can't believe you talked me into playing this game. He was like, I am impressed. I want to buy this game right now. And he couldn't because it was sold out.
So that's what happened to me on both counts. He reached out to me saying, hey, you want to cover the game? And I was like, hey, I'm happy to cover it. Honestly, it looks like a generic deck builder. There's a lot of those. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. I just don't know if it'll be anything special. And then I really liked it. And then my wife as well, Rena as well, I started teaching her the game, and she was giving me those death eyes she gives me when I'm explaining a game that she's like, I'm not going to like this game. She's like, as I'm talking to her, she's like, I'm not going to like this. And now, then she put it in her top 10 games of all time. When she played it, she's like, this is a lot of fun. It's got solid decks, lots of things that play well together, and it's really brutal and gory, but in a way that's not too punishing for the player that's losing. Honestly, I'm going to have to give them a hard time, because they did not reach out to me about the 4 Glory expansions. I will be reaching out to them and giving them a hard time, because I love this game. But yeah.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, this is a must back for me. I'm not even I'm not pump faking on this one. This is happening. Yeah. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Very cool. My number, what are we up to? I don't even know anymore. The madness.
That's part of my no pump fake, what I call the no pump fake my no pumping back. Oh, really?
Yes.
What's up, man?
Have you
Tell us
have you
about
played it yet?
this.
Have you played it yet?
I have not. I was going to go into this one, but I got a little too busy, and I don't want to take on too many games. But
Uh,
I'm excited about this one. Tell me
This
about it.
so first of all, not a campaign game. Yes, I love it. Okay, that's
Okay.
already a sell for me. So Threetale was not on my radar. Meaning it's not true. Meaning it was on my radar. I saw it coming out. I saw the ads. It was whatever. It didn't have that flair. I talked about this a little bit earlier. I don't have the defining characteristic. It didn't have that flair that pulled me in. I saw the images. I was okay with it. The art
Right.
looked fine. Again, I think the art's very nice. It just didn't pull me in. The miniatures didn't pull me in. The board game didn't pull me in. And they reached out and said, "Hey, we'd love for you to cover it." And I gave my usual thing to people, like, "Hey, more than happy to cover it." Just to be frank, it looks okay to me. Maybe I'll love it. Maybe I won't. But it looks okay.
Yep.
And then I played it. I played it on TTS. I also played it in person. I played this one in
Mm-hmm.
person, and this is like a slow burn for me. It started off as like, oh, this is fun. Like I like it. I'll probably keep it. But then like the more I play, the more I'm being pulled into it. The more I'm really enjoying what is ultimately a very lightweight game. This is the Carcassonne
Okay.
of adventure games. It's
Ooh.
you grab a tile, you lay it out. It seems so simple. Like again, when he was
Ooh.
teaching me the game on TTS, I'm like, I don't see myself being pulled in by this. But what happens is you effectively grab a tile. You can kind of see on the screen over here. You grab a small tile,
Yeah.
you place it on the board. Each tile has various goodies on it. Goodies just things that will upgrade your character. But then you have limited movement and limited actions to actually do anything. So the game begins, you can only move 2 spaces and you can only take 1 action per turn. But every time you pick something up, you're slowly increasing your tableau. You're slowly increasing one of your, basically there's 8 different things you can pick up. You have 6 different attributes. You can see these 3 columns of white cubes on each side. Then you have your skill set, your own personal skills, which will be red cubes. You're going to be leveling up there. And then you have your speed, which can be black cubes. So effectively there's 8 different attributes you're constantly upping, and that's not accounting for artifacts that you can gather as the game goes on as well. So what ends up happening is you keep picking things up that keep making yourself more powerful, but there's a clock on the game because once you've placed the final tile, you enter the end game. The end game that will be variable. There's going to be different end games you have, all with different objectives, and that's where all this stuff you've been slowly building up. And the enemies are hard in this game. You need to avoid the enemies early on. It is fairly simple to actually play this one, but it's so rewarding to I just want to play it again. I just want to like jump in it again, and I can't tell you what it is about this game. Like this is a game where mechanically I think it's okay, but I'm just having a fun time. I'm having a fun time just jumping in again and again and again. And there's story,
Yeah.
there's narrative. Didn't do anything for me, but there is that
Yeah.
if you want that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a solid game.
I don't know about that one, man. I don't know about that one.
Which part? Which
I
part?
think I might have to play it. Like just like you, like I would have to play it to see if I can get excited about
Oh,
it. But
I was
I
not
don't know
excited
about-
until I was playing it. I'm not even playing it. I was literally in the middle of my first game thinking, it's a 3 out of 5. It's good. It's decent.
Yeah.
The more you play this, finish a game. Just finish one game and then come
Yeah.
back to me and tell me you're not excited about it. I dare you.
Oh, okay, fine. That's a threat, but I'll take it.
Yeah. And about so one caveat. This is a 3-player game. You have to have 3 characters, which means
Okay.
you can play it as a solo game. I've been playing it solo
Yep.
primarily, other than my first play. I've been playing it solo primarily so far. I've been enjoying it solo. I think at 3 players, I think it'll be fine. I haven't played it at 3 yet. It's going to be happening this weekend. But at 2 players, you do end up in that weird spot with like one player's controlling 2
Oh.
characters, one player's controlling
Yeah.
1. I think they need to come up
Right.
with a fix for that because it feels
Yeah,
off.
they do.
Yeah.
It stinks, but I mean that's kind of maybe the way it's just built, right? When it's 1 to 3, I mean
Yeah.
that's weird, but it's like that's the way it's built.
They're
So.
leaning into the 3s heavily. Everything's 3. There's 3 levels of enemies. There's 3 levels of artifacts. Each die has,
Okay.
3 of each. Yeah, everything's leaning heavily into the 3s. I think they need to come up with a way for 2 people to play it that doesn't feel like 1 and 2. But yeah,
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, like I said, I would have to play in order to get a little excited about that one.
Cool. I want to hear from you when you play this because I think you'll enjoy this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to talk to somebody about that one, or you can teach me and we'll play or something like
I'll
that.
play.
I don't know.
I'll play with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do
All
this.
right. Oh man, Alex, what do we got? I
So
just
many.
got, like, this whole- I know, and that's the thing, guys. Like, this doesn't stop, and there's still stuff that I don't even know later on if we can talk about or not. But I'm gonna say it, and then we may have to clip this stuff out. But like, there's a lot of stuff that hasn't been announced. Big announcements. Some publishers, I just flat out asked, like, tell me what you got coming. They're like, we can't even. We got 2 Kickstarters. We have this and that. You're just like, this is crazy. This is crazy. It's not gonna stop. So, I'm gonna go ahead and go with. Let's go with Quest and Cannons.
Cool. Cool.
Now, have you played Quest and
I
Cannons?
have, and I was happy to see on your list because I was debating bringing it on mine.
The thing is this game has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
It's been in works for a long time. This is like one guy who has put all his chips into this design. I think it's his first. Eric Geller, I believe.
Yes.
And he has made this game one of the most accessible games, but at the same time, right at that point where it could also go up in a notch. And I really, really enjoy it. Action point system, you're traveling around this modular board, and you're picking up quests, pick up and deliver stuff, fighting, things like that. You're upgrading your boat and things like that. You're living that kind of pirate's lifestyle. But what I just found most interesting about it is that it just feels like a true adventure game. I like games. I realize that Shiver Me Timbers is like the best pirate game ever. If you've ever played that, you played.
I have not.
It is by far the best pirate game. It is absolutely insane how good that game is. But what I found with this game is that it was.
By the way, the best pirate game for the record is Sid Meier's Pirates.
No, that's
PC game.
Fail.
PC game.
Fail. Pirates. PC. Oh, okay. Yes, of course. No. Now I'm just a big defender of Shiver Me Timbers because I played it back in the day, and I was very surprised how much I love that game. And the final copy is nuts. But this game right here, very easy action point system, moving around, picking up quests, delivering them. Really easy combat. Really, just very, very accessible game, but not something to just kind of go like whatever. I definitely have fun every time I play it. It's just like Threetales, where it's just like you look at it, you go, "Is there anything like so exciting?" Yeah, there is actually. It's a beautiful game on the board. It's really, really accessible, so people may dismiss it, but I guarantee you, if you play this game, you will have fun, and it doesn't take too long to play. If I remember.
Yeah, so this is one. No, not too long. It's about 60 to 90 minutes. I would say 90 minutes until you get a little better feel for it. But yeah, this is one that I heavily debated including on my list. And I debated it because I think a lot of people will really enjoy this one. And I enjoyed it. I'll have a review coming at some point. I did cover it. But to me, it's one that, based on where I am in terms of what I'm looking for in games, I want a little bit more things going on, and I'm paying attention to the Kickstarter because depending on what modules, expansions they have, that might be enough to push me over the edge.
I totally agree
but even
that.
in its
totally agree with that. Yeah.
In its current form, I think this is like a Catan Plus style game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great gateway game, gives you that adventure feel, very easy to teach, very easy to play, it's got variable characters, and has a lot of things going for it. And I was literally like looking, here's where I was thinking, do I have 10? Because I've 10 games, meaning I have 8 games to this list. I was like, if I have 10 games, if I have one more, I'll put this in as the 10th. But I was like, from 8 to 9, then I'm at 9. That's one shy. So like, I left it off, and I saw it in yours, and I was like, yes, good.
Like the pictures that they have on their site and things that you'll see with people playing, it's the perfect selling point for that game because you could play that with a group of friends and family members and maybe a kid.
Yeah.
Like everybody
Absolutely.
can have fun with this game. When you say Catan Plus, like I don't want you to take that as a bad thing out there, party people. Like this is like definitely the game that if you were convincing people to play games and they were like somewhat with it and fun and they could stick with a couple rules, like this right here is good. And it has more than a couple rules, trust me. But it's
got the rules,
like,
but it has.
It's a weird game in the middle. Like it's such a weird game in the middle because some people will be like, "Nah, this is too light." I'm like, "Nah, it's just somewhere in there. It's just fun. It's just a fun game."
It's solid. I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to the Kickstarter.
Prototype, dead sexy too, by the way. Whew.
Yes, solid job. And I just saw the playmat. Have you seen the playmat?
Oh, I haven't. No, I haven't.
The colors on that playmat. The prototype has these color fading. Like if you've seen the screen over here, it's got like the prototype's all done in a way that's like the colors are drop faded. Yeah. But if you see the playmat, that thing is crisp.
Yeah, the shipboards are awesome. Like it's gonna be hard to look at and pass. I can tell you that. For people who are really big into the beauty being not so skin deep. They just want to see something beautiful on the table. This is going to be one of those.
Cool.
Oh,
my number. Yes. Have you heard this one? Have you heard of this one?
Definitely. I've been waiting for it for a while.
This has been around for a long time. For those seeing the date here, October 15th, 2019. Remember the days when games actually stewed and cooked and actually waited around, and now like things are just constantly coming out with like less time in development because now they have all the time in development comes post Kickstarter, not pre Kickstarter. This is one that I don't even know if it was planned as a Kickstarter. I have to imagine it wasn't back in the day, but it's going to be a Kickstarter now. This is from North Star Games, who are most famous for Quacks of Quedlinburg, for Wits and Wagers, games like that. And this, what you're seeing on the screen here, keep in mind this is an article for 2019. Things have changed drastically.
Yeah.
This is going to be miniatures. The art looks much better. What I've played already, and I've played this one already. I'll have a prototype as well. This is basically a cooperative logic puzzle game, which works. It's a game like, think Hanabi, think any of those games where you're trying to figure out a little bit of a puzzle. Think games like Cryptid, or what other games are there in this genre, or Search for Planet X. You basically have these logic puzzles, but it's a cooperative game. Every round you're going to be basically planting a flower in the Queen's garden. It's called Plant the Roses, I think. It's Paint the Roses. Paint the Roses. You'll be painting a rose or some sort of flower in the Queen's garden. And then you'll have to try to figure out. Everyone's going to give a little bit of information as to how that matches to the secret card they have. Whether it's matching, one color to another, whether it's matching shapes to shapes, and then you have to try to figure out whether you have enough selective information, or by painting another rose, can you come up with more information? Well, I know it has to be this or that, and if I place a token here, then I can eliminate it to one of those two. So you're all working together to make these guesses, and the problem is the Queen's constantly pacing around the edge of the board trying to catch you. When you correctly guess, you can stay ahead of the Queen. When you incorrectly guess, the Queen's going to catch you and someone's going to be off with their heads. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be a short game that plays in 30 to 60 minutes, probably 30 minutes, depends on the player count, but 30 to 60 minutes is going to be their game time, and it gets harder and harder, and the game paces to your difficulty. You have this aspect of you can pick more or less challenging cards, and the more challenging cards will accelerate you faster past the Queen, but then they also have this aspect of, as the Queen paces around the track, the Queen picks up speed, making both regular turns and turns where you're wrong that much more punishing. It's really solid, and I'm really looking forward to this one.
That one I'm just...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, good luck with that. That did not happen. Yeah, not today. Cool. All good. Yeah, and for those seeing your magically resizing screen, that happens sometimes when you have internet connection issues. I'm ready. Hit me.
So, this is designed by the same guy who designed Club Stories, I believe.
I don't actually know.
Which was a game that I had so much hard time finding, and I just gave up.
Okay.
Because it was really expensive to ship, and I think he was making them and sending them. Or he was just printing them on his own, and he just could not, afford it. But, like, this game is like football manager.
Yeah.
Soccer, football. You are managing a team. You're managing their resources, their budget, the stadium, the players. You're even setting up the formations when they're out on the field. All these different things. Who you're hiring. I think you're even doing some trading of players. It's all the management stuff. And I used to play this trainer, Football Manager. It's very popular, very, very popular game. And basically, you are running the team. You are the manager for the whole thing. And I am a huge fan of that. Like when I played Madden, or when I played this, or 2K, like I would only play the GM loved running teams. And like I love running the day-to-day and all that different stuff. So I am like over the moon excited about this. I cannot wait. The prototype was supposed to arrive today, and now I got punted to Monday, so I'm like really sad because I was gonna like dedicate half my weekend to it and play with all the content that was in it. So I'm just really excited about this project. I know it's not something that maybe the U.S. may be as excited about, but I expect gamers around the world to be really pumped about this. Plus, for solo gamers, Club Stories was kind of like an underground hit, and I mean, if you didn't know this is the same designer, which I'm almost 100% sure it is, I think that will excite people like me, that I'm excited about it as well. So, yeah, man, and I think I'm going to be doing a live solo playthrough of this one. So, yeah.
This is one of those games. I think this is my Threetale for you. Like, I saw this game when it was announced on GameFound. I have no interest whatsoever. It could be the best game ever, and I'll probably try to play it once, the people talk. Once you post your usual thing on... What's that? I don't even know what that was. Once you post your usual thing on, Facebook or whatever it is of, this game's amazing, people pay attention, whatever it is. So, yeah, it's one I'm definitely looking forward to. Well, not one I'm looking forward to. It's one that I'm not excited for, but I'm prepared to be, interested once the hype starts pouring in.
Yeah, you're not backing that.
Not right now. As of right now, no. I'm not a sports person. Are there sports games that I enjoy?
Oh, it's okay though.
I don't know.
It's totally okay. I don't think sports has done really that well in board games yet, except for baseball. The baseball deck building game.
It's baseball,
the football was okay. The football one was like okay, but yeah, sports is kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are ones out there. I'm sure there's ones I'm not thinking of, but I don't mind
Set
sports.
Match, it's really good. Set and watch is good, but that's about it.
Cool, very good. So my number. Let me go ahead and figure out your screen. Your screen's all bloated here. I'll have to figure that out later. But anyways, my number next up is going to be Masters of the Universe from Come This is going to be
really?
Masters of the Universe, Fields of Eternia, or is it Clash of Eternia? I don't even know. Which one is it? Which one is it?
No, it's not Fields of Eternia. This is the board. This is the board game.
This
right?
is Clash for Eternia then.
Okay.
Gotcha. I think so. I should probably know the game I'm excited about, but this is Come and Arkan's fault for having two games at the same time. But I've played the Come version of this game. I'm going to have content. In fact, now that I think about it, by the time this video goes up, you've probably seen stuff on my channel playing this game. But yeah, this is one that I've played a few times now. I think I've got 4 plays under my belt. I have online, in person. So this is a game which is going to be a one versus many game, and it's going to be for the small group of people out there who have played and love Rise of Moloch, which I'm part of that group. This feels like Come took Rise of Moloch and said, we had a really good game here. People didn't latch onto it, just never took off. Why don't we take a lot of the good concepts from that game, make it its own though. We're still gonna make it its own game, but because Rise of Moloch, if you look at the ratings and the reviews for that game, people love that game, myself included. Love it, absolutely love it. But it doesn't see a wide release. So I think they saw, I don't know if this was part of their plan or not, I have no clue, but it shares a lot of the same DNA. It has the one versus many, it has the typical escape damage, it has the concept of trading in power to your overlord. There's a lot of things that really work well together in Rise of Moloch, and they took those things and added even more in the Masters of the Universe board game. It has one versus many, it has cooperative mode, it has one versus one, it has a whole bunch of different ways you can play, different hero counts, different player counts. Ultimately, it comes down to rolling a lot of dice, trading in a lot of power, upgrading your characters, and then playing as either the overlord or the heroes to get your way as you, have a lot of miniatures and roll a lot of dice and have powers. Those are the things, all the things.
So, I have no interest in this game.
Yep.
And I want to play it though.
So, have you played one versus ones? One versus many. Have you played one versus many games? Not really.
So that's the thing. It's it's such a new genre for me to get into. So, I want to play it. I'm not saying I'm willing to play it. I want to play it. But I don't have a connection to Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
My cousin loved Masters of the Universe. I love Transformers.
For context,
he loved Masters
couldn't
of the
care
Universe.
less about Masters of the Universe.
Thundercats instead.
Yeah.
I didn't like what he liked. So, and he had all the toys, so I had to play with his stuff. And I only want to play with Orko and nothing else.
Yeah.
So, or She-Ra. I like She-Ra more than He-Man. So yeah, I'm not interested thematic-wise unless She-Ra and everybody else from She-Ra's in there. But I want to see what this one versus many, how it works. I was not interested in Rise of Malik, but of course sometimes just a different switch of themes and different kind of gameplay elements make something different. So I will be playing it. I just don't know when. But yeah, we'll stay tuned for that one.
I'm trying to think what's in your collection that would give me a hint as to whether you'd like this or not. I off the cuff, I have no idea if this is your type of game or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think through it. It's got dice rolling, powers, and abilities. It's got a decent amount of strategy. But it's one of those weird spaces because it has enough strategy to actually be interesting and have decisions, but it also has enough dice rolling that you might be well, this is a luck fest. You could argue it either way.
So no. I like luck fest because sometimes I just like that chuck it and F it kind of thing, and that's fine with me. I like risk and roll. Hey, if there's a game where you do the Yahtzee thing, I'm going all 3, baby. Let's go. But I mean that's okay. I'm fine with all that stuff. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm judging by the theme, and I don't like to do that. But
I
I just
thought
want to see how it plays. I haven't heard one person who's played it say like they didn't come away impressed.
this. So Master of the Universe is a Command game. I walked in thinking this is going to be one of the few Command Kickstarters that I pass on because I had no interest in the theme, and I was like, it's going to be a whole bunch of overhyped plastic for a theme that not only doesn't interest me, arguably turns me off. But I played it. Like, I got invited to a TTS gameplay, and I played it, and then I was like, I like what this game is doing, and for me, it helps that it feels like a game that I already know I love. So, but yeah, I went from not interested in the slightest to I'm all in, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just interested. I was hoping to get that one played this weekend, but it doesn't look like the prototype's going to arrive on time. So
Oh, you're getting a prototype of this?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
MBM's getting a prototype, but I won't be there when it does. I was hoping it would get there by then. So.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, what's your next one?
Let's see. Agemonia.
Agemonia.
Agemonia. Yeah. So this game has been sort of in the works for a long time, and now it's getting to the point where it's starting to come out like earlier this year, like in January, like in the middle of just complete lull time. Here comes this game, and we got to play with Paul Grogan. There's a lot of gameplay out there, by the way.
So
if you're like interested in this, there's a ton of gameplay. It's been available on TTS and Tabletopia for half a year.
Nice.
You can play the first 2 or 3 scenarios. But yeah, basically, this is a fantasy game, campaign game. It's played on the book, like the book in there. Really well written story, by the way, very well written. And what you're doing is you have you're going through this story, but it's got this cool little chip action system. As a matter of fact, if you look around on social media, by the way, they have absolutely gorgeous miniatures. But the game's concept is very, very easy. You're going to be moving around this map, and whenever you're in the line of sight of these points of interest, they activate. And they tell you a story. So it's not like you have to go to the point and go and like pick up the mission or whatever and interact with it. As soon as you see it, it kind of tells you what you're seeing and what's going on. It's actually kind of like Iridia that way, where you just kind of see what's going on, and then it's like, oh, this is happening. This is where it's at. And it may even change like the map. So like what you see, and you put a card on top of it, and it changes what the board looks like.
Wait, Agemonia does that too?
No, that doesn't. No. Well, yeah, and Iridia does that too. Like
Iridia
go inside the door. You put like not a tile, but you put something on top of it, and it represents what's inside of it.
By the way, side tangent. I'm just going to jump in here. I have since played Iridia, and before this, I think by the time this video goes up, Iridia should still be on Kickstarter. Hopefully, probably. So you should back that game because my gosh, it's amazing.
I told you. I tried to tell people, man, this is a 3-year wait. I cannot express enough.
I was going to pass on it. I was going to hold firm. I was going to be strong. I don't need another campaign game. It's $175. I'm done. And I think by the time you watch this video, I probably have my review for Iridia up. Yeah. That game is good.
Dude, wow. It's still a tough ask for my people's money. I get it, man. I get it. But like, hey, man, for me,
it's an absolutely a tough ask. But there's a whole different video topic, but sometimes games are good, and other times games are unique and good. Iridia is unique and good.
Just cancel pledges. I was like, I'm going to cancel this one and this one.
Absolutely. Master of the Universe. I'm a huge fan of that game. I'm going to be backing it. Drop Master of the Universe. There's a lot of other games that feel similar to it. Iridia feels different. Either way.
Feels different.
Yeah. Back to Agemonia. Sorry. Tangent.
So Agemonia has this like cool little chip system. Mm-hmm. So you have like and it's got actually like a lot of things that plays with the action selection kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So you choose your action, and then it's also like your speed of how you'll go.
Yeah.
But also those actions, you can do like an action, attack, move, whatever, and then you have these maneuvers which you change throughout the game to get like your different abilities. So based on what order you choose, you can do an action, but then later on you'll do your maneuvers. And the chips that you have are like your stamina for healing and resting, and also for getting hit. And you lose those chips, but then once you lose those chips, you flip them back over, and you're hurt, and then you lose them again. Now, what this game does is it does a lot of discovery in a small place, and that's what I love about this game. Like, that's what I love about it completely. And the missions don't feel like it just don't feel boring. Like the first mission is very much a tutorial mission. You're kind of going through this place that's sinking, a bar that I believe it's a bar that's sinking, and then you're going in and trying to save people and get them out, and then kind of figure out what's going on. But the second board is a delivery board, so you're trying to pull this thing through branches, through these trees in this forest. But when you go through the forest, you get ambushed by these enemies. But you have to go to like on the page and go to a higher level to like make something drop so it can knock down the tree, or you can go around the corner and then take an axe and
This
cut.
does feel like Iridia, just based on the
So
description.
it's got all these different like pathways, and then the third one, dude, is like the third one is absolutely insane. It's got this gigantic sleeping spider, and once you make enough noise, it'll like chase after you. But you can do another way by setting up this big trap for it. But you're trying to complete this ritual at the same time. It's like that game. Trust me, like that one right there. I can't wait for more developments. But we made a first look and we played it for 5.5, 6 hours, and I was like, this game is going to be huge. As a matter of fact, as I tell people, I hope it's huge so I can get a nice, big, awesome product.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah. This is one that I think I have the prototype of this one coming. I have to double check.
yeah.
But I haven't had a chance to play it yet. But I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have another slew of coverage coming up. We've already recorded all this.
I was talking to Mark Meyer from Board Game Coffee, who
Yeah.
has been loving this game. He's
Yes.
like, I set this up. I've just been playing it, and I've been playing it, and I've been playing it. He's
Yep.
been playing it solo. I believe you were playing it 4-player.
Yeah, we're playing at 3. Yeah,
Okay.
dude, I'm serious. Like, it's one of those games. It'd be hard to. It's actually one of the games that's hard to stop playing.
That's what he said.
Like, it actually is one of those types of games where it's like, ooh, that scenario was good. The writing is good. That's actually the catch to it. The writing is good.
That's what Mark
So
said. He
that's
said
why
he
you
set it
stay
up
in.
and couldn't stop playing it.
Yeah, because the level up system in that game is really slick too. Like and it's just so accessible on how easy it is to play. So yeah, that one right there. Definitely stay tuned to. It's been forever since this game has been announced and footage has been out there, but it's coming soon, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
I mean, based on the screen,
Right.
let's go back to the screen here. We got a little clock over here. 18 days to go. Well,
I'll believe it when I
wait,
see it, but I'll be
sorry,
there.
to be very clear, for whoever's watching this video, it's not 18 days to go because this video was filmed quite a bit ago. You now know exactly how long this video was filmed ago. You can do the math, but it's probably coming very, very, very soon.
Very, very, very soon.
Otherwise, people are like going to miss on the early bird and like leave angry comments on my
Right.
video, which is fair. Honestly, it would be fair.
Which is fair. Yeah.
So my number two is a game that I know you've played because I played it with you, and I may or may not have lost to you. It's Mythic Mischief.
Remember.
So Mythic Mischief is coming August 31st. This thing's coming coming August 31st. This is a solid. Oh my gosh. Okay, how do we even describe it? Okay, let's take a step back. I'm so excited that I forgot to be explaining mode.
Yeah, no.
Mythic Mischief is going to be an abstract game with asymmetric player powers. You're going to be trying to basically get the Tome Keeper, which is think of it as a librarian in the library, who's trying to capture all the students who are running around the library in their different little cliques, so to speak. Cliques with their asymmetric powers. You're going to have the witches, the monsters, the vampires, the trolls, the ghosts, the wizards, and the zombies all playing around. Some of these expansions may or may not be Kickstarter exclusive or crowdfunding exclusive or whatever it is, but this is a game where you are going to be chasing around. You're trying to manipulate your own characters, the Tome Keeper, the librarian, as well as other characters. Every faction is going to have four primary actions, which will be a movement action, a manipulation of the Tome Keeper action, and then actions on how they manipulate the walls and they manipulate other students. And you're basically playing a puzzle where people are going to get caught, and that's fine, but you have to get 10 points, or alternatively have the most points when the game ends. It's a tight, fun puzzle of a game. If you like asymmetric, if you like abstract strategy games, this is a good game. If you like asymmetric power games, this is a good game. If you like IV games, well, this is, in my opinion, their best game. But I really like this game.
So we were out there.
Yes.
Played a bunch of good games there. You see a lot of coverage of myself, Alex, Jesse. Before you play, you'll even see Becca Scott out there, Mark Street. And Ruel Guhova. But we had, I mean, like, honestly, it could have stunk, right?
It could have.
It could have stunk. And I was like, I don't know, man. And then when we played it, I was like, oh, wow, this game's really fun. Like,
so,
I was surprised by how many layers of strategy just by playing with different types, different factions and whatnot. this game is simple to pick up, but man, you're gonna have a little bit of brain burn because you don't want to make mistakes in this game. Like you just can't make many mistakes.
It's a little AP prone, but that's the biggest complaint I have.
It's a little AP prone.
But it's very analysis paralysis for those who don't know. Slow down, people taking long turns. This is one that when Austin from Ivy Games first told me about it, I said, I think this will be my favorite game from you. I also think it's going to be a harder sell on people because of the nature of the game. And I don't know if that'll be true or not, because Ivy Games does a great job marketing and showing their product off, showing their game. But this is one where, for me, they have Moonrakers, they have Veiled Fate. Moonrakers is great, but it really requires the right group. If you have the right group, it's amazing. If you don't have the right group, it's not a fun time. Veiled Fate is going to be one where I think it's a solid game, but it has strategic deduction, which is a mechanic that I haven't loved the few times I've played it. So I like Veiled Fate. I don't love Veiled Fate. But this game I love abstract strategy games, but the problem with abstract strategy games is more often than not, you play it a few times, and then you come back 6 months later because you've played it a few times. Exceptions are going to be games like Santorini, where every game has a new player power, or games like not Veiled Fate, like Mythic Mischief. Mythic Mischief is so ridiculously fun. It's brain burnery, it's thinky, but like you said, you can't afford money mistakes. A single mistake against another player, they're going to be up a point the whole game.
You're going to feel it. You're going to feel it real quick, and that's fun to me if you're playing a 2-player game. By the way, 4-player teams,
the Blitz mode. Oh my gosh!
Wow, like that was nice. And I watched a 2-player game where they came back from 3 points down to win the game. Mm-hmm. Like this game, especially when a game sells itself as like a 1-4 or whatever. Like when I see the 4-player work, especially for this abstract strategy, when I see it in motion working, I'm like, okay, now I'm in, because sometimes these games are like.
It's a 2-player game. That's all it is. Yeah.
It's a 2-player game, right? And then you play with the 3-player. You're like, are you kidding me? And then you see these things kind of work out, and you go like, oh wow, they actually figured it out. Yeah. And now
I haven't played the 3-player yet myself, but I've heard it's good from people who've played it, not from Ivy Games.
So seriously, man, I'm excited. Let's just say this was one of my bigger surprises for the year.
Yeah,
definitely went from 0 to like. Yeah, this game is damn good.
I like it. What's your number 2 or 1? I don't even know what we're up to.
We don't even know where we are.
We don't know. I know I have one left. I don't know how many you have left.
I have one left, and you know what it is.
Do I?
Do you?
Do I?
You best believe you do.
Is it the same one?
It is the one that I talk about all the time that I keep bugging you about, and it's called Sankokushin.
Oh, of course. Okay, let me go find it. Boom.
All right, so Sankokushin is this absolutely glorious game. It is going to be a gigantic, big box, KDM level, going even for just as epic, if not more epic, game with a gigantic narrative, cooperative campaign, Japanese-ish kind of look to it. This game is going to have a huge combat system. You're still going to have the going and fighting, and then you have the town part. But you also have like you're developing. It seems like you're developing an environment as well. You're developing yourselves and relationships. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and there's also like deities in this game. Some of them are actually not exactly based on Japanese culture, but some of them are kind of a riff on that. But you should just see the art for this game. And if you're interested in Sankokushin, you want to know where it's at. If you ever want to get drenched in lore, they have these gigantic updates. Like if you just look at the one from January and the one from April and this one, I think it is, they are absolutely huge. You can find out all the lore they're talking about how cards damage, how you build your relationships, how towns are and things like that. They even have layouts of the boards, character cards, focus on one specific gods. I mean, like,
you can't see this, but the slider for this bar, I mean, you can't see how far down this goes.
No, I'm serious. Like when you're scrolling through this, like this would be like an hour video that Alex would never make.
Correct.
But
I'm interested in this game, but man, this is a company that cares about their product. They care about the game. They care about this universe. They are taking their time with it.
Here's the thing. While people are writing, I'd write into another KDM. Blah, 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 blah. Here you go. One thing they've said, and it's not a promise, they've said they're not going for the KDM price model. Okay?
Interesting.
2, they said they're going to have just as much, if not more, content in the base game. And 3, they're not going to launch until they feel comfortable that the game is in its best form, which doesn't mean it'll be done, but it definitely means that they will be able to present a great product day one.
Yeah.
And I feel like they are.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what they're going to do prototype-wise. I don't know how they're going to do it. But somebody's got to get their hands on it. And I've been waiting for this thing for a long time. Like, before it was even announced. Like So Long World time when this game, when that first game came out, they were talking about it. The guy was showing me pictures of this. So man, just look at that, man. Are you kidding me? I mean, are you kidding me?
This is a game that many people are excited for. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued.
Alex, look at that. Just look at that. Give it a moment of silence. Just look at that.
Oh, it looks beautiful. The art looks beautiful. The miniatures look beautiful.
I can't handle it. I can't.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to wait. What's the latest update? How long's the wait now?
I don't know, Alex. I don't know. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Man. Dude, that's going to be so cool, man. It's going to be the crown. Like, this year, I have had the crown, like, the games that I have been waiting for years. You know, like, it's the coolest part, because this game has been years, and Iridia has been years. You know, Colab has been years. So it's like, now we're waiting for these, and they're finally hitting Kickstarter. Finally. Yeah, it's just good to see that it's been an interesting year for me. A lot of games have released, and I've been waiting for years. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the ride.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for these long, epic. I mean, man, you and campaign games, you've been at it. You have been at it.
I've been going hard this year. Madara's on my table right now.
I know.
How's that Madara going for you?
I haven't played it. I need a table for these campaign games. I don't have a dedicated table. I need one. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I have lots of tables. None of them are for campaign games. They're all for games that get put away. Yeah.
You have lots of tables.
I'll get there. I'll get there.
That.
All right. My number one is a game that I happen to know that you've played. And it's a game I was very excited about when it was launched. And it's a game that I was very assuming it would be a letdown. And then I played it. And Slay the Spire is not a letdown. I'll say that. Now,
it is not a letdown.
I do not know whether you'll like it, you being the random you I'm talking to. I do not know if you'll like it as much as the video game. But man, it's not a letdown. It is absolutely. This is a game. So for context here, Slay the Spire is a video game. It's on Steam. It's on Twitch. There's a bunch of places you can get it. But it's a video game that has deck building, and it incorporates it as a video game first, which means they do a lot of things that you can't do in a typical deck building game. And it's amazing. It's one of the few video games I still regularly play because I mostly don't play video games these days. I try to avoid them. I have other things. I have board games taking my time and attention, but Slay the Spire still gets played. And so when they announced this game, I was like, this is so exciting. And also, it's not going to live up because the very nature of the video game is it's doing things that a board game can't. Lots of random number generation, lots of, sequences that would just be hard and just take a lot of work to emulate in a physical game. And then I played it and was like, they did an amazing job abstracting what is good about Slay the Spire into the board game, card game, whatever, while maintaining just enough little random number generator, a little bit of sequencing as you go through things. It will not have the same depth of choices or randomness or anything as the video game. It won't. But it will have two things. The first is that it's going to feel like you're playing Slay the Spire. If you go back to back between Slay the Spire and this, you probably will think that Slay the Spire, the video game, is better. Probably, to a certain extent. But it will feel like Slay the Spire. And then two, the thing this will give you that Slay the Spire the video game does not, you'll be playing it, well, you can choose. You can play it solo, but you can play it with other characters. You can have two of those characters Slay the Spire. Pick your favorite, characters in that game, and then two of you are teaming up against rows of monsters together. So it's going to be, I'm excited about this game. I'm so ridiculously excited about this game.
I played this game at 3 or 4 different stages. Mm-hmm. And it's gotten better and better and better. Like just even like small details like the card design. The art is the art. Honestly, they have the art of the game. Yeah. It's not like they can make up new stuff. It's a licensed game. But they definitely changed some of the cards. I was like, hey, look at this, look at that. And they've been taking lots of suggestions, looking for a lot of play testing. I'm sure a lot of people will play this game during the campaign. But it's where it needs to be. Yeah. And I hope it launches soon because I don't want this one to go away, but it is super solid. Like I played the game before I played Slay the Spire.
Really?
And I held out
Oh.
playing Slay the Spire because he had asked me to play Slay the Spire.
Have you since
So I
played
said,
Slay the
you know what
Spire?
I'm going to do is I'm not going to play Slay the Spire. So I was playing another game called Grift Plans at the
Okay,
time
yep.
that was sort of simple.
Yep.
Um, and he was like, well, it's sort of like that. That's more of an evolved version. And I said, well, let's see how it is. And I was like, oh, this is good, but you might want to do better. I don't know if this is going to be more exciting. So then after I played Slay the Spire, I see all the different versions. I saw how it was coming together, and I was like, man, this game it's just getting better and better. And I think now it's just flat out fun. I think it's flat out fun. The different characters
Yep.
do feel different.
Very much so.
You know, everybody's got their own little upgrade decks. It still has that same feel of like when you're going to the shop, you got the display. The bosses are good. All memorable stuff. Some of the enemies that irritate you in the game will irritate you in this game.
Yes.
Yes, trust me. So, so yeah, they got something good going on. Definitely want to pay attention to that one.
It's so good.
Definitely.
It's ridiculously good. I'm looking forward to the launch. I'm looking forward to the physical prototype. I'm looking forward to trying it solo with 3 players. So far, I've only played it as a 2-player experience, but it's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that one. That's going to be a big one. That's going to be a big hit. I'm sure it's going to be
I hope so.
hit.
I mean, it's got a huge audience, and they've done a good job with it. I can't wait to see it get in the hands of
It'd
people.
be interesting. It'd be interesting to see how well this kind of crossover hit does. Because I saw Avatar just recently, and I was
6
like,
million.
"Whoa, my Jesus!" But it's not Avatar level.
No.
But I'm just saying the hotness of this was coming around like 2020. So it's like, how big will this go?
Maybe
And
2
I think
million?
it's gonna-
Do you think it hits 2 million?
Ah,
It might.
2? I think it'll hit 2.
I hope so. I mean, what do I care? I just want a good game. But
I know.
anyways.
I only want one box.
Yes. I want the biggest box it can possibly be.
I only want one pledge box, please.
Yeah. Anyways.
Slightly longer than I was gonna say. Slightly longer than 45 minutes. Yeah, it's gonna be about 90 minutes.
Oh, please. We warn people. Oh, you mean the game? Are you talking about the game? I think I'm talking about the video.
Yeah.
I'm like, please, 45 minutes. This is a hype train video. Who cares? No, the game, 45 minutes per player. Yes, that's per player. That's solid.
Yeah, I think that's.
I think so. I haven't played it solo yet, but I can believe there's a 45-minute play. Also, to be very clear, that time is probably based on one level. For those who play Slay the Spire, it comes in 1, 2, and 3 different levels.
Yes.
I believe that the Kickstarter will have. I'm not gonna say anything because I don't know it's public or not. Stuff. Just say stuff.
So, yeah, well, let's not say that. Yeah.
Stuff. Other stuff.
Yeah.
And more stuff. Yeah. Very cool. Jeremy, this is a blast. I apologize to every single person who's watching this video about the hype train of excitement of stuff that's coming out. There are some really...
I don't. We're gross. We're gross. They're absolutely gross.
You know what? A lot of these, I don't know. There are a lot of good games. It's a fascinating conversation for another day of like, why are there so many continuous good games? I did a video a long time ago. One of my favorite videos that it was, personally, my personal favorite video is what I want to say. Like, it was a video about why I keep doing this, why I keep hunting for new games, why I keep chasing the new stuff. And I look through some of my favorite games and I'm like, I found this game in 2021. I found this game in 2013. I found this game in 2014. This game in 2015. Every year produces new games that I love, that stay in my collection. There's a lot of hunting. There's a lot of things that leave my collection. But some things...
You know, and this is the thing. Like, people do, like, underrated and hidden gems. I'm like, nobody even knows those games. Like, it's... I don't even know what the term is because there's so many games. There's so many games. It's like... You should just make a video and say, "Hey, you should know about these games," and just keep going through a list of all the games. Like underrated at this point, underrated will have out of the 30 games that you pick, let's say between 3 people, you might have 1 or 2 crossovers, maybe at this point.
Yeah,
that's how many games are coming out right now. Like Runestones, this game,
it's on my list. I have it.
Awesome
I own
game.
it.
Like
haven't played it.
Awesome game. Like very good game, and like. Nobody talks. I put it up there because I hope somebody asks me about Runestones because it is that good.
I have read the rules. I've been waiting to play it. I have both expansions. It just hasn't hit the table yet. Yeah,
man. Ruination's going to be another one of those games. Nobody's going to talk about it. It's a fantastic game.
Z Garcia from the Dice Tower loved it.
If Kaman published that game, it'd do $5 million. I swear to you. And it'd be better board, more characters, even more awesome. Like there's a lot of these great games that are coming out, and just good ones that people would love. to death. But I mean, hey,
It's a crowded landscape.
Some people don't even own Honey Buzz.
Honey Buzz
Like,
is fun.
you know, like I don't know, like it's weird. You know, it's weird. A lot of good games out there, man.
Anyways, Jeremy, it's been an absolute blast. Thanks for your time. Look forward to doing this type of stuff again because it's fun. It's fun. If anyone, by the way, I'll be throwing a link down below. Probably should say this in the beginning, but I'll throw a link down below to Man vs. Meeple, where you can find Jeremy Howard constantly just taking people to town. He's nice on this video because it's all hype train. He's not always nice. He is not always nice. He's polite.
Yeah.
His critiques are fair, but not always nice. Yep.
Try to be, making sure we're being honest, man. You know?
Yeah. Anyways, thanks so much again. And for everyone else, thanks so much for watching. And as always, have a good one.
Take care.
Ah, man. This is Hype Train City.
Hype Train, brother.
It's insane. There's just good games. There's just good games.
There are, man. And it's hard to hold it back. I tell people it's hard to hold it back when you have games that you've been waiting on years and you see these games now, then like, oh shit, coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.